Welcome back to Movies Recapped. Today I will show you an action movie from 2010, called The Losers. Warning: spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. The Losers opens with a shot of the American flag, which is quickly turned into the background of an inappropriate shadow puppet show. The audience is then introduced to the people around the flag that make up a black ops team that is a part of the United States Special Forces. We have Jensen, the comms and tech specialist, Cougar, the sniper, Pooch, heavy weapons and transportation, and Roque, explosives. These four men, plus Clay, their de facto leader, make up the Losers. When we meet the group, they are playing a card game and betting with weapons that they have taken from their enemies. They're interrupted by their commander, Clay, who tells them that it's time to get on with their mission. They're in Bolivia on a search and destroy mission against a drug lord. As they are scouting out the compound for an airstrike to take it out, though, they spot a group of child slaves that are being held captive by the drug lord. They try to call off the attack, but the commanding officer, codenamed Max, doesn't care that there are children on site and orders that the strike happen anyway. Uncomfortable with the idea of taking out children, the Losers take matters into their own hands. They breach the compound and take out as many of the drug lord's men as they can as they try to get to the kids. They manage to get all but one of the kids loaded up onto a bus to drive them to safety. The last child is being held at knife point by the drug lord and is waiting for Clay. He tells the agent that Max will kill him too, and that he won't be a part of Max's plan. If Clay is confused by those statements, he doesn't show it. He's too busy trying to protect the young boy. Despite telling him that he will let him live if he releases the boy, Clay kills the drug lord, and then hurries to get out of the compound before the airstrike is launched. They barely make it out of the range of the firebomb, but they do make it. The kids are obviously terrified, and all they can do once the fire dies down behind them is nervously laugh. A helicopter arrives to rescue the team, unaware that they managed to save the kids. The Losers are told that there isn't enough room for both them and the kids, and Clay easily decides to put the kids on it. The Losers can make their own way back. Max is also unaware that the Losers rescued the kids and orders that the helicopter that they were supposed to be on be destroyed. The Losers can't do anything as they hear the kill order on their radios and watch the missile hit the helicopter and kill the children they worked so hard to save. Almost as bad as watching the children die is knowing that the attack was meant for them. They throw their dog tags into the burning helicopter to let the world think that they died when they were supposed to. The Losers are blamed for the death of the children, and the American public is outraged at their deaths. Since the Losers are presumed to be dead, it is easy to blame it on them and deny that they were acting on any sort of military orders. The Losers let the world believe that they are dead, however this leaves them stranded in Bolivia since they don't have enough money or the proper paperwork to go back home to the USA. After 4 months have passed since their alleged deaths, the Losers have integrated into Bolivian society and taken on jobs. Clay hasn't forgotten Max or what the drug lord said about him, and he's determined to learn more about the mysterious man. Angry that he's still stuck on this, Roque tells him to let this obsession go and to focus on how to get home. That evening, Clay is approached at a bar by a woman that he saw watching him and Roque earlier. He takes her back to his hotel room under the guise of hooking up with her, when in reality he wants answers about why she's following him. She tells him that she has a business offer for him and then quickly pulls her gun out to attack him. Being heavily trained in combat, Clay defends himself, though his hotel room is trashed and lit on fire. The fight culminates in a series of slow-motion shots until the woman tells him that she can help him find Max. The two manage to get out of the now blazing room, and the woman tells him that she is able to get them back into the United States, with the only catch being that she wants Max dead. Eager to see the man pay for his actions, Clay agrees to this despite knowing that there's a chance that she's lying to him. He relays this information to the Losers, who are hesitant to want to accept help from her. Hesitant or not, they agree to meet with her to hear what she has to say. So, the following day, the group meets up in a cemetery and she lays out her plan. Across the world in Dubai, we finally get a glimpse of Max. He is standing on top of a building with some cronies and men that are effectively his prisoners. They are in the middle of a negotiation that does not seem to be going well for either side. Max is told by one of the men that they will not be able to continue with this deal because of his morals. This obviously upsets Max, and he has the man thrown from the roof. The dead man's associates tell him that he was the one with the objections. They are more than happy to continue with the arrangement, but it will cost Max quite a lot of money. Unbothered by that, Max is ready to continue. The audience then gets to watch as a small island is totally obliterated by a new type of weapon. This bomb is a sonic dematerializer, informally called a snook. It's a bomb that is just as powerful as a nuclear weapon, but that uses sonic waves so there is no fallout. This is all explained to Max from the safety of a helicopter as he watches the destruction unfold. He wants to purchase several of these from the scientists in Dubai and sell them to the highest bidder, regardless of who that may be. His goal is to start another war. He claims to help save the US, though the real answer is likely so that he can make millions by selling arms to both sides in whatever conflict may arise. Back with the losers, the mysterious woman, who is named Aisha, uses her connections to get the team back into America. From there, they follow a crazy plan involving stealing a military helicopter to get to Miami and where Max is supposed to be. Despite following through with her end of their deal so far, Roque really doesn't trust her. He puts a gun to her head and tells her that he'll pull the trigger if he even suspects that she's tricking them. Once in Miami, the team sets up their position to kidnap Max. They manage to successfully complete their mission, but in the process, Pooch is recognized by one of the men hired to protect Max. Once they rendezvous after stealing the truck, they believe Max is in. They realize that they are mistaken. Max was never there at all. Instead, they have been tricked by Aisha into stealing Max's hard drive. While Clay is ready to kill her for lying to them, Aisha does manage to convince them to break into the hard drive to see what sort of secrets Max is hiding and willing to protect with more firepower than would be used to protect the president. However, this creates tension between Clay and Roque and ultimately leads to Roque storming off. To add to their problems, the hard drive is heavily encrypted and even Jensen isn't able to hack through the protections. Jensen is able, however, to infiltrate the company that made the hard drive, where he manages to steal the algorithm used to encrypt it. After they are finally able to get into the hard drive, they realize that it holds enough credit on it to make a $400 million transfer. The losers don't know what he plans on doing with that money, but they know it can't be good. The audience, of course, realizes that Max planned on using the hard drive to purchase the snooks. Looking at another part of the hard drive, Jensen is able to trace the money flow to what they assume must be Max's base of operations, the Los Angeles International Port of Entry. With Clay and Roque having made up, at least enough to get through the mission, the team makes a plan to take out Max once and for all. While combing through the hard drive even further, Jensen discovers that the Bolivia mission wasn't a real military operation at all, but was a cover so that Max could have the drug lord killed. It turns out that the Kingpin managed to learn about Max's plan and was trying to stop him from going through with it. Jensen also learns why Aisha is so determined to see Max killed. She is the daughter of the drug lord. Assuming that the losers will betray her, Aisha shoots Jensen in the arm and escapes. The losers also assume that she might betray them and so move the timeline of their attack up. They begin to make their way through the port, picking off Max's men as they come across them. Clay and Roque find a trailer full of cash and Clay wonders if they are being set up. It turns out that the losers didn't need to worry about Aisha betraying them, and should have been more concerned with members of their own team. Roque knocks Clay out and takes him to Wade, Max's most trusted advisor. Roque tells Clay that he made a deal after the mission in Miami because he didn't want to keep following him from mission to mission until Clay got them all killed. At least this way, Roque gets to walk away with his life. What Roque didn't realize though, is what Max had planned for the losers once he captured them. The port of Los Angeles isn't actually his base of operations, but is a CIA cash stash, and the losers are now going to rob it for him. The Snook scientists asked for quite a bit more money than he was anticipating and wanted it in cash, so to prevent the cash from being traced back to him, Max will have the losers do his dirty work for him. Once the money arrives to where Max is, he cuts the scientists out and has it loaded up onto his plane. Max's plan all along has been to frame them as a couple of extremists and to use them to start the global conflict that he talked about earlier. Surprising everyone, Aisha comes back to rescue the losers. With her help, they are able to take out the small group of men that has taken them prisoner. In the fight to get free though, Pooch is shot in both of his legs. Despite learning that Clay is the one who killed her father, Aisha still agrees to help them find and kill Max, realizing that that is the better choice to make. During the gunfight between the losers and Max's men, Roque steals the plane full of cash. As he is trying to get in the air, Wade follows closely on a motorcycle. Seeing this, Cougar shoots the engine on the motorcycle, which explodes. The explosion launches Wade through the air and directly into the engine of the airplane, which then also explodes and kills both Roque and Wade. During all of this, Max makes the scientists activate one of the snooks and then kills him. This not only eliminates another witness, but also ensures that no one else will be able to use the snooks, since he was the sole developer. Max flees the scene, wanting to get as far away as possible before detonating the bomb. However, Clay spots and follows him. The two come to a final standoff and Clay is forced to choose between killing Max and saving all of Los Angeles from being blown up. Knowing what choice he has to make, Clay chooses to let Max go in order to save the city and prevent all-out war. After the losers are reunited, Clay gets a phone call from Max. Clay tells him that despite him getting away today, he hasn't gotten away forever. And this time, he knows what Max looks like, and that he'll be seeing him again real soon. While escaping on a bus, Max is robbed by two men on the bus, and that is the last that the audience sees of the all-powerful and all-conniving Max. Meanwhile, the losers embark on their next mission, getting Pooch to the hospital to be there for the birth of his son. The mission is successful. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.